Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome inside the friendly confines of Thompson Recreation Athletic Center for tonight's OUA matchup between the visiting Toronto Varsity Blues and the hometown Western Mustangs. My name is Nick McVicar. Joining me in the broadcast booth today is my buddy Tyler Warren. Tyler, this is a game between two teams who, let's be honest, they've struggled coming into today. Western losing 6 in a row, and U of T still without a win. 11 losses to start the season. What are you looking for from this game?
Simple game from both teams. Easy puck management, easy access into the zones, and quick and efficient shots to get the goalies working.
As we take a quick look at the standings, you can see both of these teams are near the bottom. You mentioned Ryerson at the top was a little bit of a surprise to you, but I think seeing Western and Toronto, two playoff teams from last season, in the bottom three is a bit more of a surprise right now.
I like the top three. Ryerson, York, Brock. That's usually not the top three that we usually see throughout the seasons, and here they are. And Lakehead usually always in the mix there at 4.
It's a tough one. I see where the refs are coming from, though, just because it was that tight.
One thing I like to say about Cream, he wanted to see the other ref's viewpoint, because where that one ref was, of course you're going to think a lot of things and see things. You need both angles in that sense.
As that puck's bounced out to Cartier, he gets it back to the point to Callahan. That bounces over his stick. Great job by Kirkup. Fighting through, beats two players, and scores! Holy moly, Batman. That was an unbelievable goal there by Ryan Kirkup, beating both Western players. 7-3.
I'm pretty sure that Ryan Miller has a new 1 versus 1 champion on TSN. That will be taken. That was an absolute mammoth.
I don't know if Mitch Marner beat Miller.
I don't know, man. Either way, a one-man individual effort was nothing like what we just saw there.
So let's get a look at this replay. Just an unbelievable, look at this here. Fights off Goldberg, chips it around Callahan, and while being hooked, still manages to get it top shelf. You run out of superlatives to describe a goal like that. Unbelievable, excellent, fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome inside Thompson Arena for today's OUA matchup between the visiting UOIT Ridgebacks and the hometown Western Mustangs. Joining me in the booth today is Scott, and today is a very special day for our Mustangs here. Scott, it is Seniors Day. We have 6 seniors graduating, and they're all in the starting lineup. It's going to be very interesting to see how they come out in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. I think the stakes have not been higher this season. It's all on the line today, and we're going to have a great game.
Yeah, it was great talking to the coaches. They both put that into perspective that it is playoff push. Let's take a quick look at the standings for the women's division. As you can see, Western is sitting in 6th right now, but they are tied with the 7th and 8th place teams, Windsor and Laurentian, all with 22 games played. So this is a big one. If they can get this win, they guarantee themselves a spot in the playoffs. Whereas UOIT, for a team who is pretty far down, they have 3 games to play still. They are still technically not mathematically eliminated, and they can still make the playoffs if they win today.
Yeah, I think today is an important game for both teams. Obviously, a win today would push either teams closer to the playoffs. Stakes have never been better for Western here. A win today would guarantee them that spot. And I think.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mustang Field on this beautiful November day. I'm sitting beside the assistant coach for the Guelph women's soccer team, Onkar Dylan. Onkar, welcome to Mustang Field. This game is going to be a very interesting one. We got Windsor and Western here, 2 teams from the Western Conference. What do you think we're going to see today?
First of all, thank you for having me, and looking forward to a really exciting game. Lots to play for. These 2 teams have had great games all season long, and looking forward to a real good technical battle between both sides.
Yeah, these 2 teams both played on Friday. Windsor lost to UOIT 3-0, a little bit of, or 3-1, sorry, and then a little bit of a tough loss on that one on one of the goals. And then Western lost 1-0 to Queens, and it was a very tough matchup in that game. Both teams played really well. These teams come in with a little bit of redemption on their mind, I'm assuming. So it'll be a very interesting matchup. We're going to look at 2 very strong teams, I think.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. You got one of the best goalkeepers in the OUA in one net, and a team that's a perennial national type of team on the other side. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be a very interesting matchup. And as you mentioned, we do have a very good goalie on the Windsor side. I believe she was the first team All-Star for the West, so that's always a big thing. Yeah. And on the other side, Megan Girardi's not a bad goalie either, so it'll be very interesting to see how these teams are going to put the ball in the back of the net.
It's going to be an exciting one.
We're just lining up now. We're going to get on screen on the game real soon. The teams are just about to take the field. Coming into this game, though, we're looking at 2 teams that have put the ball in the net too. They rank pretty high up there on goals for, but also very low on goals against. What do you think is going to be the key for Western in this game?
Well, like you mentioned, both teams were in the top 4 in the OUA in goals scored, and I think that's a big part of why they're here today. But they've also both struggled to score in the last 5 or 6 games, so I'm hoping the levies break today and we get to see some goals.
Yeah, especially Western. I mean, they in their first playoff game ended up going to PKs and winning that one, so that was a tough matchup.
Yes.
And then last game, obviously, they didn't put one in the back of the net. Windsor, on the other hand, their goalie is one of the top in the country. Obviously, we mentioned that. So, do you think their mindset is going to be more of a offensive one than a defensive with her on the back? And that's going to be a handball call. I'm surprised it wasn't called immediately. Most refs would call that right away, but I guess she was trying to play advantage, which you don't usually see on a handball call. But either way, it's going to be a Windsor free kick.
These are dangerous locations. This is where Windsor can nick one.
This might come to fruition, what you were saying earlier. It might come down to a free kick. Here's the first opportunity for the Lancers to put one in. It's going to be Barley, who played in some great balls on Friday. Great ball in there, and there it is. As you called it, free kick is going to be what cost the Mustangs the first goal of the game. And I think that was straight in, don't you?
I think so, too. I don't think I got a touch on it.
So that'll be Barley's.
Great service. It had pace, it had curve, and everything you ask from a free kick taker.
There's Julia Barley. She put in some great balls on Friday. Now she gets the reward here. 1-0 Lancers. 20 minutes left in the first half. Great first half. Both teams playing very, very strong. Windsor able to get that little goal off that free kick from Barley, and it went straight in, no touch. What did you see from the first half from the Lancers that was very positive for them?
Well, they are dangerous from set piece, as we saw with the goal there. They defended well. Whenever there's questions asked to their back line, I thought they handled it great, as you would expect with any Stephen Hart team, and I expect more of that to continue.
And for the Mustangs, what did you see from them that was positive going forward? They are down 1-0, but if they have anything to take from this, what would it be?
Very dynamic play up front, and Martin will be happy with that. I suspect that to continue. More balls at the feet of Guglietti. I suspect you'll see the starting strikers come back on. They're very, very dynamic up top. They will look to run at the Windsor defenders, see if they can create a seam and get something going from there.
Yeah, you're looking at two teams that have played a very good first half. I would look for the Mustangs. You're right, to get that ball into Guglietti. She's been dynamic so far, playing those balls in. The Mustangs need to find that final ball, though. That's what's been causing them issues so far this game. If they can find that final ball, put it in behind those Windsor players, they have the pace. It's just whether or not they can get that ball there, I think.
That final ball is going to come in the channels and through the flanks. It's very, very compact in there. There's a 3 plus maybe 1 or 2 at Windsor back line. The balls aren't going to be successful going through that block in there. They're going to be looking to play the balls in behind the fullbacks, see if they can get a cross and finish situation.
And that's a fantastic first half from Maya Fassi and those two other center backs from the Windsor Lancers. You got to give them credit for what they did to able to stop those strikers from the Mustangs getting anything on the net.
It's underappreciated how hard it is to play as a back 3 when traditionally teams are used to playing a back 4, but they've handled themselves quite well and they haven't looked porous at all.
We're going to look to see what tactics are going to be changed at the half. Marty Painter, known for changing his tactics at halftime. So we're going to see really what he's able to do, who he's able to bring on to make a change in this game.
I look for both teams to utilize the flanks here.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see as we're going to take a quick break here at Mustang Field. It's a beautiful day, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes to bring you the second half of this bronze medal game between the Western Mustangs and the Windsor Lancers. White one more time, going to play the ball in. That ball's played in, and that's Boyle's foot. Detella, Vandenhoven, almost, and that one's deflected off of a Windsor player. 3 great scoring chances there from the Mustangs. Lots of bodies in that box is going to cause problems, but that's a positive sign right there.
That's a pointer
ball into the box right now. Ends up on Vandenhoven's foot all the way back. That ball's played over the top. There it is. There it is.
Oh, wow.
Amanda Boyle with a header from 12 yards out. Beats Lawrence on the bounce. That's got to be the last play of the game, too.
There could not have been any more time left in that.
Great ball into the box, and it looks like we're heading to extra time in this one for the bronze medal here in the OUA Final Four.
Save here, though, at some point.
Now it's Farassi's turn to take the long, slow walk to half. I remember when I was taking kicks, I ran up there, set the ball down. A lot of different players have different tactics. So she's going to take her time, make the keeper think a little bit.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. There's a large psychological component to this this part of the game.
As Farassi places the ball, takes her steps back. She backs up, jumps a little bit, runs up, and plays it. Great save by Girardi, and that is gonna do it. Girardi clinches the bronze medal for these Mustangs. A last-minute goal, not even last minute, last second goal for the Mustangs, and a great job in the PKs. And that is gonna give the Mustangs bronze in OUA.
Congrats.
Defense, but they still have control of the ball as it's gonna be switched out to Mayor Clement. She tries to bring it back into the middle. That was a missed pass, and that one's over the top for Henderson. Got a one-on-one, and she's going to beat Cliff. Cuts into the middle. Good finish by Tasia Henderson, and there's the first goal of this final. 1-0 Ridgebacks.
Wow, that's a great goal by Tasia Henderson.
A really hard thing to do to say that, though, because UIT is forcing them to play that quick pace.
Yeah. Well, Queens is going to look to want to play the ball east to west to create those seams and then pick their point of attack. By them playing at this frantic pace, it doesn't suit them. And I think when they did get the ball out wide and isolated their wide players 1v1, that's when we got to see what they're all about.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they can start isolating Jenny Woollever and letting her do a little bit of attacking down that left side. That's what you're going to look for in that second half to get her into play, as well as Laura Callender. Trying to get her to force the play forward is going to be a huge thing for Queens going forward.
I mean, look for the return of Brittany Almeida apart from injury, and if we can get Tara Bartram back in this game, I think Queens will go back to what they want to do, and see if they can find a solution for Tasia Henderson. I think that'll be one of the focal points in their halftime team talk. Can we find a solution for the dynamic Tasia Henderson?
And if you're on UOIT, you're looking to make sure you can isolate Henderson and Shribney up front with maybe 2, possibly 3 defenders, and try to force that play forward. They've done a fantastic job so far getting them the ball and just making sure that they can play that through. We are going to take a quick break here at Mustang Field during this halftime. We will be back in about 10 minutes to bring you the second half, and 1-0 here at halftime for UOIT over Queens.